Here's the truth, guys. Women are constantly scanning you, and they're picking up on signals that you don't even know you're giving off. And those signals that you don't know you even have, they're either pulling that woman in, or they are silently turning her off and pushing her away. And these 5 things I'm about to show you, these 5 things women notice about you that you do not. And they decide whether she's gonna lean in or never think about you ever again. They're gonna decide whether she wants to kiss you or walks away and forgets you ever existed. And it's not random, guys. It's not bad luck. It's not because you're not her type, all right? It's simply that you're giving off a signal, and the problem is you don't even know what signal you're giving off. So right now you are blind to it. But by the end of this video, you will know. You will know, and you can use that to your ultimate advantage to get the girl. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the 5 things that women immediately notice about you that you are completely unaware of. And once you can control these 5 things, then just watch, because everything will change. Women will start noticing you, flirting with you, and you're gonna go from being invisible to getting all the attention without saying a damn word. So now let me hit you with something that most men never even think about. The first thing that younger women will notice about you guys is your voice, your vocal quality. Not so much what you're saying, but how you are saying it. Because the truth is, guys, your voice broadcasts who you are before your words even land in her consciousness, okay? And if that signal is off, it's basically game over, guys. Now, I've coached hundreds of men over the past 2 decades, and you know the most common mistake that I see? Well, a guy gets in front of a beautiful woman, and suddenly he starts talking to her like he's trying to win some race. He's speaking way too fast. His vocal quality is way too flat. He's got this nervous energy, and his voice has no soul. So here's exactly what I mean. Imagine you walk up to some cute girl and you say to her, "Hey, how you doing? How's your day going? You been getting yourself into any trouble?" Now, you can say that exact line in 2 completely different ways, right? One guy blurts it out like he's being timed by a stopwatch. "Hey, how's your day going? How's it going? How are you doing there? You been getting yourself into any trouble?" While the other guy says the words slowly, with pauses, from a relaxed place, with positivity and with warmth and with a cocky smile, like, "Hey, how you doing there? How's your day going? You been getting yourself into any trouble here?" Like he's talking to an old friend who already likes him. So it's the exact same words, but a completely different vibe. And gentlemen, vibe here is everything. Because when you speak with calm, relaxed confidence, when your tone of voice says to her, "I'm comfortable and I belong here," she will feel that. And then her guard goes down. And now you're no longer some random guy she's talking to. Now you're someone that she wants to keep listening to. And most men just don't realize how important their voice truly is. Most men don't realize how much women notice this. You know, I had this one client, great guy. But whenever we practiced cold approaching together, he sounded like an auctioneer on coffee, just talking way too fast. So I told him, "Dude, you got to slow this down." So we practiced again and again, slower, warmer, deeper each round, and finally he started to land it. Same exact words, but totally different tone of voice. And you should have seen the difference in the way that women were reacting to him, all because of the way he was speaking and communicating. Look, this is the hard truth, guys. Women are absolutely brutal when it comes to evaluating you based off your voice. Women do not pity date men who sound nervous or unsure. They don't feel chemistry with a guy who sounds over-eager. And your voice is the front door to your entire presence. And if your voice sounds rushed or your voice sounds flat, she will lose interest. But if your voice is confident and positive and warm and relaxed and you're in control, that's when she feels something and she doesn't even know why. And that right there, that's the edge that 99% of men never develop. All right, so now I'm gonna show you how to look 10 years younger than you really are without plastic surgery, without hitting the gym, without hardly changing a single thing about yourself. Because right now, guys, there's one tiny little habit that you don't even realize you have that's quietly making you look old. A habit that's quietly making you look weak, making you look low status in front of the eyes of women. And it's silently killing attraction the moment you walk into the room. And I'm talking about your posture here, gentlemen. Specifically, that slouch or that stoop that you have got going on in the back of your neck. Because you see, as we men get older, we start to hunch. You got a desk job, you're always looking down. You're looking down at your phone screen. You got these tired back muscles. And just years of sitting and slouching and shrugging create this stoop in the back of your neck. And before you know it, your neck is tilting forward a bit like a turtle. And it's that little stoop going on in the back of your neck, leaning your head forward, that's making you look frail. It's making you look timid and a lot older than you really are. And this is something that most men do not see in themselves. But women, guys, believe me, women notice that immediately. To women, especially younger women now, posture isn't just posture. Posture is a status signal because a strong, upright, confident posture says to her, this guy's in control, this guy's important, this guy is somebody. So you want her to glance at you immediately and wonder, is this guy a CEO? Is he famous? Is this guy somebody important just by the way he's carrying himself? You want her to think that. And here's the cool thing about this, guys. Even if you're not ripped, even if you're on the shorter side, or you're older, or you're balding, or you're carrying around some extra weight, you can literally bump yourself up 1 or 2 full points in attraction pretty much instantly just by fixing that slouch in the back of your neck and standing tall like a man who commands respect. Standing tall with your chest out, shoulders back, chin level, kind of like you're wearing a superhero's cape. One of my clients, this guy in his early 50s, he came to me frustrated. He told me, Jesse, look, I don't get it. I dress sharp, I'm in decent shape, but women still overlook me for some reason. And I had the guy walk across the room and I saw it like immediately, right away. His neck was hunched forward. His shoulders were caved in. So we straightened him out, we lifted up his chest, squared off his shoulders, raised his gaze, and it was an instant transformation, guys. He looked 10 years younger, he looked more powerful, and most importantly, he felt it immediately. Now let me tell you something else that most men never seem to figure out, and this is what women notice about you immediately, but you don't. And that is your energy, gentlemen. It's your vibe. And if you're an older guy talking to younger women, hitting on younger women, she is gonna pick up on this instantly. So here's exactly what happens with most older men. They get around some young, beautiful woman and they just shrink up. They tighten up. They start filtering every word coming out of their mouths like they're walking around her on these eggshells, trying to impress her, sounding apologetic, sounding nervous. It's like they're asking for permission to even exist in her presence. But the kind of guy that she's actually drawn to, the kind of older man that actually turns her on, well, he's calm. He's warm and positive. He's playful. He's grounded. He's relaxed. He walks in like he already belongs there. And he's not trying to prove himself to her. He's just enjoying the moment for what it is. And that energy right there, that energy, that vibe is very magnetic to her. I had this client, very successful guy, but every time he talked to a beautiful younger woman, his energy would go way off track. He'd get stiff. He started to think every single word. So I just gave him some simple exercises to follow to correct his vibe, to correct his energy. So it was more like he was talking to an old friend that he had known for years. And that same night, he ended up talking to a girl at a bar for a couple of hours, having an absolute blast with her. Why? because we corrected his vibe. We corrected his energy. Look, gentlemen, women are emotional processors. They don't just hear your words, they feel the vibe behind your words. So if your energy is tense or apologetic or uncertain, she's gonna feel that. But if your energy is relaxed and playful and high value, she feels that too. That's why simply memorizing a bunch of lines is not going to save you, because if your energy or your vibe is off, no matter how good those lines are, they're not going to hit properly. But when your vibe is right, when your energy is on point, you can say almost anything. You can get away with almost anything and it will still land. It will still hit. And this is one of the biggest things that men underestimate. One of the biggest things that women definitely notice about you, and notice about you in a big way. And look, if you're tired of guessing how this all fits together, if you want some real help in dialing in your voice and fixing your posture and owning your energy like a man who owns the room, I do run a private 12-week coaching program where we fix all of that and more, and we fix it fast. I'll show you exactly how to meet the beautiful younger women around you, the women around you you're seeing every day, and how to spark attraction in these girls in just seconds. How to get her phone number, how to set up that first date, and how to make her want to see you again and again and again. And guys, no gimmicks, no pretending, just the real powerful version of your best self finally coming through. So if you're actually ready to get that amazing girlfriend you know you deserve, go right here to youngerpartner.com, fill out the quick application you see there, and book a free call with me. And we'll look at your unique situation and see if we are a good fit together. And if we are, I'll walk you through the entire next 12 weeks and change your dating life completely. All right, gentlemen, here's the next thing that women instantly notice about you that you are completely ignoring. And it's not your looks, it's not your money, it's not even the words you're saying. But gentlemen, it is your presence. Your presence. And I'm not talking about some kind of mystical woo-woo energy here. I'm talking about whether you're actually there with her, or whether you're stuck inside of your own head, inside your own mind, overthinking everything, planning what you're going to say next, trying to game her like she's some kind of robotic machine. Like, have you ever found yourself talking to a beautiful woman and then you realize afterward, you don't even remember what she said. You don't even remember her name. You can barely remember what you said to her. It's like the whole interaction is just a blur. Well, that's not a conversation, guys. Not a good one anyway. You see, most men talking to a woman, especially if she's a hot girl, are trapped in their own heads. They're thinking, oh, how do I impress her? What do I say next? How do I keep this going? What's the next question to ask her? Meanwhile, you're not actually there with her in the conversation. It's more like you're with yourself in your own strategy in your own head. But having real presence, you stop and relax and you start talking with the girl instead of talking at the girl. And guys, there's a difference between talking with the girl and talking at the girl. And you actually start talking to her like she's a real human being and not like a prize that you got to win over. So I had this one client who seemed to know all the lines, he seemed to know all the tricks, but every time that he talked to a beautiful woman especially, the girl would just smile politely and she'd eventually drift off in a conversation that went nowhere. So I watched him do a couple of approaches, and sure enough, you could tell pretty much instantly he wasn't there with her. He was talking to her, but in a way, he wasn't there with her because he was inside of his head the whole time, trying to get it right, trying to say the right things to her. So we simply worked on his ability to stay present in the conversation, actually have him listen to what the girls are telling him, actually be there with the girl in the conversation, listening so he can remember what the hell's being said. And his sets actually started to hook. He started to get real engagement from these girls for a change. And look, gentlemen, this is a huge mistake that 99% of the men out there are making, and they do not even realize it. But I guarantee women notice it. Now let's talk about something so obvious that most guys completely miss this. And it's one of the very first things that women notice about you as a man. And yet it's one of the very last things that men ever dial in. And I'm talking about how you dress, how you are dressed. Now I get it. You've heard 100 times before, yes, your looks do matter. But let me be clear about something. It's not so much about your face or the muscles or your height. What women really notice right off the bat that you're ignoring is your style. It's how you're dressed. Now, just from my own personal experience, when I walk into a room dressed in jeans and sneakers and some random t-shirt I threw on, I don't get very much attention. I'm not turning anybody's heads. But when I throw on a really nice shirt, maybe I dropped $100 on it, even $200 on it, the kind of shirt that's tailored to my body, that fits perfectly, the kind of shirt that screams success, but it's also got a little swagger to it, a shirt that's got a little bit of charisma to it, and I throw on some nice leather boots that add a little bit of height, maybe a sleek watch that catches the light in the right ways. I'll throw on a hat that says to women, look, I'm not like any other guy in here. And I walk into the room dressed like that, then boom. Now I'm getting eyes on me. Now I'm getting those glances and women notice. Look, I accept that I can't beat all the other guys in the room who are going to be younger than me. Some of the guys are going to be better looking than me. Some of the men are going to have more muscles than me. But you know what I can do? I can be the best dressed man in the room. And that makes me the most interesting man in the room. That's my secret weapon, how I dress. And this is what's so crazy to me. You know, every guy knows that dressing well is going to help you out. It's kind of common sense. It almost doesn't even need to be said. But almost no man actually listens to that advice. They don't take that advice to heart. Most men, 99% of the guys out there, they're dressed in a way to blend in. They're dressed too blandly. But you want to be the man who stands out. You want to be the man that when women look at you, they're thinking, who is that guy? Simply by the way you're dressed. And when you do that, now your sets will blow wide open. Okay, you're going to get smiled at. You're going to get way more opportunities just by the way you're dressed, because women are visual creatures. Women do notice these little details, and dressing sharp with flair and with some swagger triggers curiosity in women. It triggers attraction. It even triggers pre-selection. And you know, we all know that looks matter. It's kind of common sense. But if we men really believed that, why aren't we taking full advantage of it? Because I know that 99% of you guys aren't. Most men are dressed kind of like they're going to go to Home Depot to pick up some lumber. Even men actively on the lookout for a girlfriend. So this is another one of those things that women instantly notice about you, but you are not taking advantage of. You are not taking it seriously enough. And again, gentlemen, if you need help with any of this stuff, like your posture, how you're coming across, your vibe, your energy, your voice, how you're dressed, we can get you up to the point where you walk into a room and women are looking right at you, noticing you, giving you little glances, giving you little smiles. Click on the link in the description below and apply for a free phone call with me and we'll get in touch. Now, since you've enjoyed this video, you've got to watch this one next, guys. This is the simple hug you can give to any girl that's going to make her 10 out of 10 horny for you. That's going to melt her instantly. Say you've got a female friend you've got your eye on. Instead of giving her this limp hello there, give her this hug and get her instantly attracted to you. Or you're going on a first date with a girl that you met online or you met through Cold Approach. When you greet her, give her this very simple hug in a special way. I'm going to show you how that will get her instantly turned on. So guys, this is a skill you got to learn. So go watch this video right now.